And welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Business Power Hour with Darren, Dimples, and the Music Man, me. Hey, Dimps.
Hey, Mr. Music Man, how you doing this evening?
What's going on?
How are you?
Oh, good. What's up? Two ladies. This is true story. These two ladies at a network meeting came over to me, and he said, "Your show was really good, but we missed Dimple."
I'm absolutely convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that you got some kind of brain damage when you had that thing last year.
I'm telling you that, and he called.
It's not classy, but classy.
Seeing interviews by Darren and the Music Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Siafe and Norman Wasserman.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Business Power Hour with Darren.
You know what? I think we got to get your chair higher.
You think?
Actually,
we're pretty even on the screen.
yeah, but the banner across the bottom is like cutting into your face. I'll take the banner away.
Okay. So whatever.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Business Power.
By the way, this is Darren Dimples. So in case anybody didn't
How
know,
are you this evening, Music Man?
a little wet. It's a little wet outside.
It was nasty out today.
But it was a beautiful weekend. I got to see my grandkids playing lacrosse and soccer and flag football, and I was exhausted by the time I came home. We started at 7:15 in the morning, got done about 4:30 or so in the afternoon, and it was just beautiful.
Good.
How about you?
Oh, you know what? We're getting the house ready to go. Spent the weekend packing.
Nice.
Spent the weekend packing. So yeah, we're moving.
Did you get the boat delivered?
Stop with that. I don't have a
It
boat.
was a 37 or 39 footer? No, it's a new boat. The new boat. No. Okay. You know what we do have? We know it's a very big topic in the world today.
What's the very big topic in the world?
Ecology.
Well, it is,
Ecology.
Ecology is a great topic. But tell me about ecology.
I don't know much, but we have a guest that's going to tell us something about ecology. And he has a very, very unique business. And it involves ecology, and he's going to explain to us how he can help make the world greener by a service that everybody needs. Anybody who's in business needs.
What do you mean by
service.
greener? Like the paint on the walls green?
No, I mean like the green skies.
The sky's not green.
Exactly. Now you got it. Let's let Greg Barber come on in and say hello to our world. Hey,
Hi.
Greg.
Hey, Greg. How are you?
Hey guys, how are you?
Greg is the ecological printer.
Yep, eco-friendly printer is what I'm known as.
Well, nobody said you were really friendly. Let everybody judge for themselves.
So,
You know what? That's how I named my company, Eco-Friendly Printer.
all right. So you're the owner of Eco-Friendly Printer. Tell us, what is Eco-Friendly Printer? What do you guys do?
And what's it mean?
What does it mean?
Basically, eco-friendly printer, what we do is we print using 100% recycled paper, primarily 100% post-consumer waste. We use non-toxic toner, or we use soy-based inks. We're very careful about not wasting paper. The mills are FSC certified. They use biogas or
what does FSC certified mean?
Okay, FSC stands for Forest Stewardship Council. And what that means is that organization makes sure that the paper mills do not destroy the forest or the land after they've cut down the trees, that they replant it, they fertilizer, and they make sure that they don't screw up sorry if I use that word, but screw up the land.
It's all right. We'll have the FCC send us a letter.
Thank God we're on the internet.
Thank God we're on the internet. So Greg, what kind of printing do you do? Are you doing business cards? Are you doing phone books? Well, phone books. Do they even have phone books anymore?
What's a phone book?
You know. So tell us about the different type of printing.
Basically, I do almost anything anything you need. It's business cards, it's postcards, it's brochures, trifles, flyers, banners, labels, a lot of envelopes. And my newest thing is sustainable packaging, which is becoming the hot spot for me.
So what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Sustainable packaging is basically we're replacing vinyl or replacing plastic My clients don't want poly bags. And when I do a brochure, like I did a 350 brochures for a client in Seattle, they wanted me to mail it because I do fulfillment as well. So they want those magazines or brochures to be put into a sustainable envelope. And it would be something, I don't know if you can see it, but it'd be something like this, right? And it has a self-seal on the back. And it's very, very strong. And it also obviously looks like a shopping bag. So a lot of times people want brown. It looks more environmental. Is 105 pounds, so it's thick. This is not a thin stock.
Is it padded?
It can be padded. This one is not. It also can have gussets. So, for instance, if if I wasn't going to pad the envelope, or wasn't going to give you a padded envelope, I might put a corrugated chipboard on both sides. It might save the client a lot of money doing that, because I'm going to put the brochure in. I'll put maybe the corrugated insert next to it, or on both sides. The gussets will mean that you can put more. Maybe you can put 2 brochures in, or maybe
what exactly is a gusset?
Gusset.
So I'm confused as to what a gusset is.
Gusset would be like an expansion. See if I have one.
I don't.
That's right. We're going to learn right now.
It's to the side of the envelope. It's about 3 inches.
Oh, enables the envelope to expand.
Expands to 3 inches.
Okay. All right. Now I understand. It's basically the bottom, the folding area, right?
Yeah. So, I think a lot of people. First of all, it saves so much money to send out samples or brochures using mailers than what a lot of clients have done before is use a box. They think you have to go to a box to mail something, when in fact, if you use the mailer, it's going to be a lot lighter. The postage is going to be a lot less.
So wait, so do you do the whole gamut? So if I came to you, right? So say I'm coming to you and I say, I got this brochure I want to get out. Now, most people, right, in this day and age, is electronic brochures and that, but there are still a lot of brochures being sent through the mail. So if I said, okay, Greg, I got this brochure. I need you to print it. I need you to package it, and I need you to mail it. You'll do the whole thing?
Yeah, that's actually what that is called in our business, fulfillment.
Okay.
Let's say, this job I did in Seattle for Rad Bikes. So 350 brochures. So then I get an Excel spreadsheet with all the names of the 350 people they want to mail to. So I have to do the mailing function.
Okay.
I've got to print the 350 labels. I've got to take the 350 brochures and put one at a time into 350 envelopes. Maybe I'll put a corrugated, insert to protect it even further if I have to. Seal the envelope, which is a self-seal. Just stick it and close it. Figure out the postage. Now, I will say this is that if I'm doing a brochure that doesn't have a lot of advertising inside of it, the post office will let me do the postage for less than $3. If I'm doing a 1 pound brochure, less than 1 pound brochure, the rate could be $2.86, and that's called media mail. And this mailer may only cost 30 cents each. All right, so I might have $2.86 plus the 30 cents. So for under $3.25 or something like that, everything is gone. Of course, I will charge money to do the fulfillment, to insert it and this and that. So that'd be an extra charge. But actually, so I'm giving you the printing. The fulfillment is doing the labels, inserting it, making sure that you put the label. You take the self-seal off and stick it.
All right. So I have a question. We're going to stop this conversation for a second. We're going to pick it up, but we're going to go back in time. We're going to go back in time when Greg first went to work and what you were thinking about as a kid and what you wanted to do and how you got to where you are now. So take us back to high school times, college times, and what did Greg want to do with his life? Did you want to be a green printer?
I think that going out of high school and college, and I used to wrestle in college and stuff, and I was in sports and golf or whatever. I wasn't really thinking about being a green printer at that point. My first thing was I became a paper salesman. So I sold paper to major companies. I also landed a GSA contract with the government. That's a General Services Administration, Government Services Administration contract for 100% post-consumer waste recycled paper. And the EPA.
How long ago was that?
What's that?
How long ago did you receive that?
That was maybe a good 10 years ago, at least 10 years ago. And what happened is that in this contract, I handled 10 EPA offices throughout the country, Seattle, Chicago, New York, whatever. And so I was getting all the paper from a mill in Canada called Domtar. And all the contract was 8.5, 11, 20-pound or 24-pound letterhead paper, and shipping it to the different EPA offices. So I was a paper salesman. And then what happened is that I would go to printers to sell paper. And then one day I said to one of the printers, I have a lot of friends. I could sell some printing for you. What would you do if I sold a printing job? I'll give you 10%. All right, that'd be cool. So then about a week later, I come in with a $10,000 printing job. Oh. And I made $1,000 in the job. And I go, I might make more money selling printing than actually selling paper. And that's how I switched from being a 100% paper salesman into the printing business. And then it was then the major thing for me to become an environmental printer. I lived in Manhasset, Port Washington area. I'm driving my car. I see 100 kids celebrating Earth Day. It was the 20th anniversary of Earth Day. And I stopped the car. It was really all the banners and this and that and the enthusiasm, and all the kids were so excited. And I went, wow, I think what I want to do now, being that I had been selling 100% post-consumer paper, why don't I switch and become an environmental printer? And I can use my paper knowledge mixed with my printing knowledge and become an environmental printer. So instead of acting as a salesman for whatever that company is that gave me that money, I opened up my own printing company, Eco-Friendly Printer.
Now, this was what, 20, 30 years ago?
I actually was the 20th anniversary of Earth Day.
So that's 1990.
1990, right.
You got that right. And we just saw, and I started at the 20th anniversary, and that Earth Day was April 22nd. Yep. So that was the 51st anniversary of Earth Day, or I've been doing this for 31 years. It makes me, I hate to say, it makes me kind of an older guy in the arena. I was one of the I was one of the first people to really start and promote the environment.
I have never met anybody else that does, which I know an awful lot of printers, tremendous amount of printers. We both do. But I've never met anybody that work with the ecology as you do. What about you?
So, Greg, how long has Eco-Friendly Printer been around?
Well, basically, I started at the 20th anniversary, so that makes me 31 years doing that.
Okay.
As an environmental printer. I mean, I was selling printing, I was selling paper prior to that. Right. But you could say officially as an environmental printer, I started on Earth Day, 1990. And I've kept it up since then. I will be honest with you that when the pandemic hit, and it was February, March of last year, my business was down about 80%. I'm going, oh my God, I'm done. And a lot of my printer friends went out of business.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second, Craig. If somebody wants to get a hold of you to find out more about your printing services, how can they do that?
It's right here. They can go to they can email me, greg@ecofriendlyprinter.com. My website is ecofriendlyprinter.eco. Facebook, at Sustainable Printer. Actually, we're changing. There is one change there. It's going to be Facebook at Eco-Friendly Printer. So that'll be a change there. Twitter is at Eco-Friendly Printer is correct for the Twitter.
Okay.
I just noticed Sustainable Printer is not the newest.
Have you tried to trademark your name?
Cell phone 973-224-1132.
I love your logo. Have you ever tried to trademark eco-friendly printer?
No, I have not, but that wouldn't be a bad idea,
Well,
actually.
actually, I think it would be a good idea, especially where the country is headed.
Yes, yes.
I also would go after some more domain names.
I will say this, that I grabbed.
Building this business.
You're going to take it. Are you going to take it from me? No.
You know what, Greg? Just sit back. No one's going to take off.
He's going to take my business.
He's going to show you how to do it, Greg.
So I'm going to ask some questions.
You've only done this for 31 years. Don't worry about it. No one's going to step up for you.
Well, we don't have people to step up for us.
Okay, so let's go back. Last year, and I know printers too, and a lot of printing companies went out of business because of COVID, because people stopped going to the office. So they didn't need business cards and pads and all the stuff that they would typically get from a printer. How did you survive, the COVID? You just said your business was down 80%.
What was the turnaround?
What happened is, the word hunkered down?
Mm-hmm.
We're all hunkered down during the COVID. What happened is, and you're right, I did business cards for Allstate. They didn't buy any more business cards than there's about 5 or 6 clients that I did business cards, no orders in over a year for business cards. And I'm sitting there going, what am I going to do? But the wildest thing, and it's a good luck for me, is that one of my largest account, which is called Twigs, he sells greeting cards, and he sells them through Amazon. And what happened is, one day, maybe it was April last year, he calls me up. He says, "Hey, Greg," he says, "I need 70,000 greeting cards." I look at him. I say, "You crazy?" I said, "Your average order has been like 20, 25,000. How can you go to 70,000?" He says, "When everybody's hunkered down there and they can't go see people, and they can't give out business cards, and they can't see their family, this and that, they're going onto the internet. They're finding my greeting cards through Amazon, and the orders have like gone up 400%. So with that growth, that sort of made up for a lot of the orders that were stagnant. I was doing newsletters every quarter, and like Tracy Anderson or one of those companies, they were closed. So, so things closed, but things opened. And the other thing,
other opportunities, right? When one door closes, another one opens. You're able to find other opportunities. And
the other thing is, I'm not afraid to spend a little money on marketing. And the greatest thing is, I joined a couple of networking groups, and I found out that I met this one lady, Meryl, and she did a podcast for me. And then another person did a video business card. Now this is nuts. I'm a printer. I'm supposed to print on paper. Why would I want to do a video business card? It's not printing, it's digital. But I'm thinking, if nobody's giving out business cards, including me, maybe I can tell my story with a video business card. So I did a video business card. It was put in my signature. And so when let's say I quote you on, $8,000 with the brochures, and I go, "Thank you very much." And in the signature, I ride through YouTube a video business card. It's a 54-second commercial of me talking about what I offer. And so the person all of a sudden says, "Well, I don't see the guy, physically, but I see him through this video business card," and that's really helped my business. So I've done a few things to get the ball keep going. Now, luckily, my name being Eco-Friendly Printer, when people search for environmental printing, they may say they're looking for Eco-Friendly Printer, and that happens to be my name. So that
comes up quite a bit. So, you said before that you had a client in San Francisco. Are you doing work just domestically, or are you doing work internationally?
Well, it's primarily, national. I got Texas, I got San Francisco, but I've done a lot of work for the United Nations through their Climate Week, which is every September, although I don't think it was this past year. But and when I did work for the Climate Week, I was getting files and the orders from Argentina and other countries. So I would say, well, why would I be dealing with people internationally? But they would give me the order, and they said, well, I want to ship to New York City, you know, you know, I actually delivered, you know, 3 brochures by myself the day of this huge speech at the UN. And I just brought it to like a block away and gave them the brochures, and off they went. So I had the personal attention. They've dealt with me at least 8 different years for that. And everything is on 100% post-consumer. And this happens to be one of the brochures I did. And this was taking the pulse. And it was all the United Nations kind of, it was a simple job. It's just 1 color black on the inside, 4 color on the side, but it's 100% post-consumer. They wanted environmental paper, and they wanted to be non-toxic printing. So this is a 100-pound cover, and the inside is like a 70-pound text. It's got good opacity. It prints just as good as a non-environmental sheet. People ask me, is environmental printing as quality as non-environmental printing? I don't think you can tell the difference between mine.
That leads me to my next question. You kind of leading me right to where I wanted to go with that is, what is the big difference between non-environmental printing and environmental printing?
As I started to say, I don't see any difference really. I could print a brochure on 100% recycled versus 30% post-consumer, which is the minimum specs.
No, yeah, you didn't understand what I was asking is, why would I go to you instead of going to a traditional printer?
Well, you're going to me because you care about the environment like I do. You want to make sure that, I will tell you, this is 100% recycled paper, uses less energy to make the paper, less water to make the paper. The main reason I started was that I didn't want printed paper to go to the landfills, because our landfills were completely, you know, stocked up. I think the most amazing story when I started was they closed a landfill in Staten Island called Fresh Kills Landfill.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in the Bronx. The reason they closed it is they were afraid that planes going to land at Newark Airport would hit that landfill, which was 10 stories high in garbage. Right. So now I'm saying the reason you use me is because you care about the environment, and I'm going to help the environment by doing what I do. And also, I'm not going to charge you any more money than if you use non-recycled paper.
So really, from a cost perspective, it doesn't cost me any more, because you always have an additional cost when something isn't traditional, right? There's always that. But you're telling me that going to you is not going to cost me any more money than going to my normal printer.
No, I'll tell you the reason for that is that, remember, I was a paper salesman to begin with. Mm-hmm. I had very good contacts with the paper mills. I got Mohawk Paper in Cohoes, New York, and Neenah in Wisconsin, Monadnock in New Hampshire, and Roland in Canada. And I'm able to buy the paper in bulk. Remember, I really specialize in maybe 4 or 5 grades that give me 85% of my business. Okay. And so I bring in 10,000 pounds at a clip, where the other printers who are non-environmental printers, and they occasionally have a brochure to do, and maybe they only need 400 pounds to do the job. Well, I'm bringing in 10,000 pounds, and I'm not really penalizing them for my ability to buy the paper so much less money. And I'm landing jobs because I'm not charging them extra for a small order.
So, okay. So I had a conversation with somebody today, and they were talking about, actually the last couple of days, materials seem to be going through the roof. Yep. Prices of materials, right? Lumber is something, you know. I actually have an electrical client of mine that was telling me that he can't get meter pans. He can't get a lot of things because, and what he was told was because they don't have workers to actually produce this stuff now. Are you finding that prices are changing in your industry because of this shortage?
Yeah, just absolutely very recently, all of the paper mills, they all sort of moved together. The prices on paper are moving from 6 to 12% going up in price.
Getting because the shipping? Is that because they can't get the product?
it's the pulp prices are up. And maybe they have not raised their prices in 3 or 4 years, and it's time to raise the prices. They're not making enough money to keep their mills going, so they got to get a little extra money. I know it's a combination of a lot of things, but the other thing is that with my sustainable packaging, I will tell you this: I'm getting an order for 25,000 mailers that are 6 by 10. They want to put some. I guess you can put greeting cards, flat greeting cards, in a 6 by 10 mailer. But I have to quote 12 to 14 weeks to get those mailers printed.
So wait, you need a 12 to 14 week lead time in order to have the materials that you need in order to fill the order.
Mailers. And you know why? The problem is that when all the companies are shut down and the malls are going out of business or whatever they're doing, there's so much more going out through the mail, and through Amazon and others, that the demand for these mailers has skyrocketed, and the mills can't keep up with that demand. So it's a lot to do with a lot of orders for things that you wouldn't really be thinking about buying, let's say 2 years ago. Maybe when we get back to business and the malls are open and business is hopefully more normal than it is today, these lead times will also go down. Now, I'm only saying that's on mailers. I don't have that problem with a brochure printing, a letterhead, a business card, envelopes.
Yeah,
I don't have that problem with the normal printing, but there is starting to be problems where a printer wants, let's say, 10,000 pounds of paper, and the mill said, well, it's going to take you 4 to 5 weeks to get it to you. So that means the printer better start stocking more paper, which is what I do when I buy 10,000 pounds. I don't need 10,000.
Other printers must be doing the same type of thing because they're going through the same thing as you, which compounds the situation.
Yeah, and then I guess you run into a cash flow deal. I went to the I'm a distributor for those mailers. I print everything else, but I'm a distributor for the mailers. So I said to the mailer company, WCI, which is in out in Wisconsin, I said they get 100% of the money up front, and I go, how am I going to get $6,000 from this company, and you're telling me it's 14 weeks? Backed up. Right. I said, how about if I give you $3,000 up front and $3,000 when I ship? I mean, at least I think I can talk my client into that. But asking him for $6,000. So we got those kind of problems right now. It's not just me. It's everybody.
It's everybody, right? It's crazy what the pandemic has done to the industry. All right, Greg, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about the pandemic, but also how people can actually make smaller jobs for themselves utilizing eco-friendly printing. We'll be back right after these messages.
Aquata, also known as the money tree, is a tree that flourishes in the tropical rainforest. Unlike other trees, it depends on 5 separate trunks to prosper, each one bringing its own share of water and nutrients to the leaves. Like the money tree, your business has many different trunks that need your attention. Sales, marketing, finance, operations, and culture. Fail to cultivate any one of these and the whole tree collapses. I understand this better than anyone else, which is why I developed My Prosperity Tree, a program designed to address all of these areas, not just 1 or 2. We help you identify who you are as a company, define your direction, and assist with developing the systems that will enable you to scale your business the most efficient and effective way, allowing your company to bloom into your own prosperity tree. So plant your tree today by visiting myprosperitytree.com or call us at 844-987-CBMS. That's 844-987-2267.
Hey everybody, it's Norman from Friend Entertainment USA and Virtual Tribute Concerts. I got some breaking news. If I sound a little bit excited, it's because I am. And you can see I'm wearing one of my nice glitter jackets for on stage. And the reason why I'm wearing this jacket is because the Cure, the Friend Entertainment Fundraising Cure, it's official, it's live, it's well. We lived through it, we got it going. Concerts all over the country, concerts all over the world. virtual concerts from Friend Entertainment USA and virtual tribute concerts.
Today, look at me, I could be 17. Yeah! For a smile, they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting, walking down the boulevard.
Harvest.
Yeah.
All right. Move
Welcome
back.
back, everybody. We got Greg Barber here, who is the eco-friendly printer. Where did you grow up? You said Manhasset or something, right?
Yeah, I'm from Manhasset. Yep. Ever since I guess I was 5 years old, I was born in Seattle. My father was a lawyer in Manhasset. Moved here. He had a law practice here for a lot of years. I went all the way through high school at Manhasset. Also, my kids, my 2 boys, graduate from Manhasset, so we're real Manhasset people.
Beautiful town.
I heard you talking a little bit earlier, I think, about lacrosse and your kids, your grandkids, whatever. My sons both played lacrosse at Manhasset, which is the big sport in that town.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun, and from Manhasset, and I went to college at CW Post on Long Island. I was on their wrestling team, and so
What pound class did you wrestle?
I was a lot lighter than I am today. I wrestled 177.
Okay.
Although I
That's
should have wrestled 167. We had 3 guys that could wrestle 177. They didn't have any 167. No, they had 3 guys that could wrestle 167. And they said, Barber, you stay at 177. I said, well, I didn't have to diet. I didn't have to do anything. It's just,
So you got to eat. You got to eat all the good stuff. You didn't have to worry about sweating it out, right?
a lot of good restaurants in Manhasset.
Just don't worry about gaining weight.
Yep. That's a beautiful thing.
Tell me about this Connie Chung TV show that you watched.
Okay, so
part of fire a bit.
Yeah, part of why I became an environmental printer is that the day before the 20th anniversary birthday, the day before I started, really, Connie Chung was on TV and she said 60% of the landfill problems are due to paper and printing waste. And I'm going, wow, that makes a lot of sense because we print and then you got the printed paper. What happens then? Does it go into the garbage to go to the landfill? So it resonated with me that, yeah, that's a huge problem. And then the other thing, on that same TV program, they showed barges taking garbage from New York City and shipping it to other cities. And I'm going, boy, this is not fair to other cities, And then, of course, I told you about the fresh kills and the planes would hit into that. And then the kids celebrating Earth Day, you put them all together, and I go, I really want to do something to help the environment and join their enthusiasm. So that's what I did.
Well, isn't there a lot of chemicals in the inks that are used? You said they were environmental friendly.
We use low VOC inks. We use soy-based inks and vegetable-based inks. Soy and vegetable are pretty synonymous. When I do both offset printing, digital printing, and wide format like banners. But in digital printing, we use 100% non-toxic toner. And back in the days when I was first starting, I think toner had a bad image. But I say to people, if you use 100% non-toxic toner, it's 100% non-toxic. If you're using soy-based inks, it's 14% soy-based and 86% oil. See. They
still got an issue there.
They really buffaloed a lot of people thinking that soy ink was the greatest thing in the world. It's 14% better. That's all than straight oil.
What kind of vegetables do they use? And are there special vegetables for different colors?
I think it's the non-toxic dyes that they add. I don't think it's the vegetables. So we use.
They had zucchini ink.
Hey, by the way, I print on tree-free paper.
Huh?
I got mango paper. I got hemp. I've got straw. So and also we have banana and coffee papers. So if you want to go that direction, you buy the tree-free paper from me.
So what you're saying then is the traditional inks are real oil-based inks, right? Are there any other chemicals in these inks other than the oil-based stuff?
Low VOC, volatile organic compounds are lower in using soy-based inks than they are in using oil-based inks.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this is that it's been a lot of years since I've made the phone call to Superior Ink Company in New York City. There's the largest ink company, I think, in maybe the United States. And back in those days, they were telling me it's 14% soy-based, but they were trying to get to 25% soy-based. And I really should make a phone call tomorrow and see, hey, have you gotten any better? Did you get up to 25% or not? But it's a long way from 100% post-consumer. But then somebody will say to me, well, why don't you use 100% non-toxic toner in your offset press? I said, you can't use toner in an offset press, and you can't use soy-based things in a digital press. So we just do the best we can with what's available. I will tell you another thing. Is that coated paper was never 100% post-consumer. And now Monadnock paper in New Hampshire has come out with a velvet coated 100% post-consumer cover. And I actually did a book, it's a children's book, and I used a 150-pound velvet, Astrolite PC 100 velvet. So it's the first time I've seen mills being able to do it in 100%. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
Okay, so we're actually going in the right direction with a lot of different products now, is what you're saying?
That's right. That's right.
So we're going more than. Do you see eventually this industry really grabbing a hold of it? Because it doesn't sound like because you're the first eco printer I've heard of.
Right.
I'm not saying that there aren't other printers out there.
There are not many. There are not many. There's out in Seattle and out in San Francisco, Greener Printer exists out there.
Why are there so few of you?
I think that unfortunately people want to just make as much money as they can, and they probably think that they can't make as much money being an environmental printer. I just chose to gamble and be an environmental printer. I'm glad I did, because I have a nice following. As I said, I'm up 30%. But there's a lot of printers that think it's too expensive to get into the environmental arena. I mean, I don't think they want to invest in buying, $10,000 worth of paper, not knowing if they're going to have the sales. Now,
let me ask a question, if I may.
Yeah.
Let's talk about franchise printers. Now, franchise printers, let's take, Minuteman.
Right.
They're national. Why haven't they jumped into this market? In your professional opinion, why haven't they stepped in? They got plenty of money. They can buy the paper. I'm sure they do. They make their franchisees buy from them, whether it be equipment or this or that. How come they haven't jumped? I mean, I'm happy for you. They haven't. Or what's to stop them from going to do that? And would that?
They have decided to concentrate on, let's say, if they were going to buy a lot of paper, they're going to buy the non-environmental paper, which might be 30 cents less than recycled paper. I think it's just as strictly, and they're not getting enough of us people just to demand to buy recycled printing.
So they have enough money to go and advertise, we're getting into this particular market. And to put it out there for customers, whether it be on TV or on SEO or whatever, to go and try that. I'm happy that they're going.
As I said, I'm doing so much marketing with the podcast. And by the way, you also would want to look at my blog. I did a blog, and the blog is all about sustainability. In my blog, it's all sustainability. And the more people I educate, the more people I say, hey, you can do environmental printing and you're not going to pay more money to me. And these are all the reasons why you should be doing it, because I have 100 blogs that I have on my website, ecofriendlyprinter.com/blog. And I'm getting more people to ask me for more printing. But it would be nice if other printers would do this too. So I don't want to be exclusive.
Now, because a lot of people don't have, and I want to give a couple of quick shout outs. Brittany, we love you, dear.
She's in the state of Washington.
She's in the state of Washington watching right now. And Joe Ponte's watching again this week. Thanks, Joe, for tuning in. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Brittany.
Everybody else that's out there, I'm sure you guys are watching them. We say hi. We love you guys. But do you have to have, you mentioned before about the paper, you mentioned about the inks. Do you have to have special equipment to do this? You talk about digital printers, you talk about the presses and whatnot. Or can you use traditional equipment to do it?
You can, we're using, hold on a second, I gotta get something just popped up. Okay.
Thank you.
We don't have to do anything special to print environmentally. It's the same presses. Some digital printers will say they'd rather print on a coated sheet or a smooth sheet. And they'll say, the smooth sheet, the non-environmental sheet prints better on our Hewlett Packard Indigo or something like that. And it's true. I'm not saying it's not true, but there's so many papers that I have that'll work on all the machines. They have to be okayed by the, I guess, Hewlett Packard or Apple.
But what I'm really saying, Greg, is the machines that you have, if a traditional printer came in and said, I'm going to go back to the traditional way of printing. I'm going to use the normal paper. I'm going to use the oil-based inks. Do they need to change the equipment, or can they use your equipment to do it?
No, they don't have to do anything. They can print non-environmentally. They can print environmentally. Nothing changes. They don't have to do anything.
That's fantastic. So what you're saying is that all printers really need to do is just change what the product they're using, the raw materials they're using in actually creating a product.
Right. I would say there's nothing unique about me being an environmental printer, except that I choose to print on 100% recycled paper.
Well, that would make you unique. That is your uniqueness.
But the other printer could do that. A Minuteman could go and buy Mohawk options, or Roland Enviro, or Nita Environment, or Monadnock Astrolite. They can go buy those papers. They can bring them in. They can go to Superior Ink. Hey, give me 5 pounds of soy-based inks.
Let me ask you this question: If I owned a Minuteman printer, and somebody came into me and said, "Hey, do you do environmental printing? Do you recycle paper and all that other stuff?" And I really wanted the job. Could I then say yes to the guy, say, okay, I'll take your job in, and then sub it out to you? Do you work with other printers?
I give them like trade prices. That's usually 20% discount or 30% discount.
So other printers can actually get in touch with you and do that. So Greg, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, they go to greg@ecofriendlyprinter.com. They can go to my website, ecofriendlyprinter.eco. I also have ecofriendlyprinter.com. So I have both. Facebook at environmental printer, and Twitter would be at ecofriendlyprinter. So that's how they would reach me. And my cell phone, 973-224-1132.
Here's the question. Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
I'm a bit of a workaholic, and so I don't mind if people text me or email me 7 days a week. I basically look at the emails and text message all the time.
So I am a customer, and I walk into a store, and I ask that question that Darren just asked you about the different inks and whatever, and I want an eco-friendly print job. And I go and I say, because I'm an unscrupulous printer, yes, I can do that for you, no problem. Okay, so now I print it. I'm the printer, and I print it not the way my customer wants it. How do they know whether they're getting the real deal or not? As a customer, can I see the difference in quality and such? Can that be seen?
That's a great question, and you really, you got to go by trust.
Right.
Because if I print on Enviro and that printer prints on Husky offset, I don't know their client is not going to know the difference. I don't think they can use their oil-based inks instead of my soy-based inks. And remember, my quality is the same whether I print soy-based inks or oil-based inks. So, you know, my quality is just the same. It's just a matter of that printer may put
factor.
He could put another 15% in his pocket because he's cheating the client. I can only say is that I've got 31 years of doing this, and I've got a lot of people that would recommend me.
So basically what it comes down to is if somebody said they were doing eco-friendly printing, it doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it. Because there's no way to really double check that when you get the product.
And they're not advertising it on their front window to draw people through the door. That would be outright.
The only way they could do it is come into my plant and look at the boxes of paper that I bought, you know, and I'm taking out of there, and see the cans of ink that are soy based. I mean, the only way they can really tell is to actually be there okaying the job on press.
Where is your printing plant?
We got Hempstead. I have like 3 plants: Hempstead, Hop Hog, and I do a little work in Huntington.
Oh, okay. Do you accept people walking in off the street?
Usually what happens is they, I don't really do too much of the walk-in trade, you know, for business cards and flyers and everything. Most people call me. Most people deal with me over the phone. I think the best thing that has happened to my business, and it's just like what you're doing with me right now, is that I put Zoom on my website, and one of the web guys said, "Hey, Greg, I can put if you have Zoom on your site, I can put I call it Eco Zoom. I can put a little attachment Eco Zoom, so the client goes to my website and hits contact, and then hits my Eco Zoom." And in one click, I admit them, I'm in, just like what you did with me.
Right.
So I'm able to, it's almost like I'm in my client's office now with Zoom. I'm able to do a lot of presentations with Zoom. That's really, really helped my business.
Well, I mean, that one thing over the last year is everything can be done virtually now for the most part, right? So,
exactly.
You know, the meetings is because before that, you know, with like for our show, you came into the studio. We didn't do it like this.
Right.
And then back before COVID.
Before COVID, you know, you would come into the studio, and that's the way we would do it. And you know, this year has completely changed it for everybody because everybody's doing Zoom meetings. Everybody's working. They're you know, and you got everybody and their mother doing podcasts now, and you know, it's crazy just what Zoom has, you know, has changed the world.
It's really, it's made me, made my business. I mean, without Zoom, I would be down 40%, not up 30, honestly. Because, you know, and I actually, I'm crazy because I will say to somebody, how early can we meet? And the client will say, well, I have my coffee at 6 in the morning. I said, all right, let's do a Zoom meeting at 6:30 in the morning. I mean, you wouldn't even think about doing something like that in the old days, but you know, I do play a lot of golf, and so maybe I'm going to be teeing off at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to have my Zoom meeting at 6:30.
You can't miss those tee times. You got to do that. I want to give a quick shout out, Brian Cohen.
Hey, Brian.
Brian's one of our super fans. He's been around forever, just as Brittany is. And Brittany, yeah, we're always praying for you, sweetheart.
And Brittany said, "Awesome job, Greg."
Yep, and he's
I love it.
Doing a good job. So
I think you guys have done a nice job because I had no idea how to prepare for this. I had like all these questions that I thought you might answer, but you actually made it fun. I enjoyed it.
That's what we're kind of like known for.
So, Greg, let me ask you this now. Let's get away from the business part of it. You know, you seem to be one of those guys for the people. You got, you know, you're eco-friendly. You want to do things to help people and help the environment. What things are you doing outside your company to help the community?
Well, actually, the number one thing that I'm doing is that I promote destigmatizing mental illness, and I raise so much food for hungry and homeless families on Long Island. The reason I do that is that I had two sons. One of my sons, Neil, was a star lacrosse player at Manhasset. He got a full scholarship to college, and Notre Dame wanted him to come on a full ride. And unfortunately, starting his junior year, he became mentally ill with schizophrenia. And I ran into his coach, who was a Hall of Fame coach, because his name is Barber, and lacrosse players have heard of him. And I ran into him at some kind of a lacrosse function. How's Neil? How's Neil? He didn't know Neil had really gone downhill. I said, well, he's ill and he's in a mental hospital, this and that. And he goes, why don't we tell Neil's story? Because he was still a teacher at Manhasset Middle School. Let me tell Neil's story to the kids. So he starts talking about Neil, had pictures of Neil with his lacrosse and all the honors and all that stuff. And one of the kids said, Mr. Will, can we give cakes and cookies at Thanksgiving for Neil? And I go, wow, nobody's really done anything for Neil in so long. I go to the Pilgrim State Hospital in Brentwood, and they go, you can't give cakes and cookies because it has sugar in it, and some people have diabetes, so you can't do that. So I go back to Manhasset. I said, maybe we could give the cakes and cookies to homeless shelters. And so I contacted the Temple Bethel in Huntington. They did a lot with lunches and dinners for homeless families of all religions and everything. So I went over there, and they said, oh yeah, sure. So we ended up they gave me like 8 homeless shelters to bring the food to. And then we come back, and the kids said, and the coach said to the kids, people are not just hungry at Thanksgiving and holiday, they're hungry all year round. So why don't we do this? I teach 5 classes. How about each class has 30 kids? How about you bring in 30 cans of food, 3 cans each, once every 5th week? It's 5 classes. I don't want your parents to get mad at for raiding the pantry type of thing. So they would bring in 3 times 30. So I get like 90 cans of food. And we take the 90 cans of food every week for the whole year. We bring it to Temple Bethel, or we bring it to Long Island Cares, or we bring it to the Gerald Ryan Outreach, or the Inn in Hempstead, or the Presbyterian Church in Northport. Those are where all the food started to go to. And I give back to, for food. My goal was not to do the food. The kids sort of got me into that, but my goal was to destigmatize mental illness, because everybody was afraid, in my own family, we were afraid of telling people that our son has schizophrenia. And lo and behold, after I did all this stuff, and I made speeches at Manhasset High School and to Port Washington High School and to St. Mary's. I make all these speeches, and I just started getting calls from parents saying, I've turned my son instead of being, some outcast person, into what they consider a hero in the town of Manhasset, Port Washington, and St. Mary's. So, and the other thing is NAMI, which is National Alliance of Mental Illness. They decided to make a film about me and
nice.
And what we're doing. So if you went to the website for the mental illness site is neilswheelsny.com. That would be NeilsWheelsny.com. And on there, you'll see a picture of Neil. You'll see a 5-minute trailer of the video. You guys are good at that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's a 5-minute trailer of the video, and it shows a classroom of Manhasset kids talking about what would they do if their best friend exhibited some form of mental illness. Would they keep it secret because you don't want to rat on your friend? Would you tell a coach? Would you tell a parent? What would you do? And across the board, these 30 kids from Manhasset say we would tell the coach, we tell the parents, we would not keep it a secret because we want to help our friend. So
it's so important, and Greg, and that's a great point. It's so important for people to speak up, and it's and they were talking about this. I saw this on the news the other day that mental illness is skyrocketing because of the pandemic. Yeah, people, they're stuck at home, they're depressed, they lost their jobs, they got all of these different things going on. It's so important that we recognize this and we reach out for help.
Greg, I'm going to make your night tonight.
What are you going to do?
Prior to us going live on TV, I was telling Darren about a situation that I have where I can get pallets of food.
You gotta be cans or boxes now.
They're all boxed and cans. There's
Okay.
nothing else, but I can get my hands on pallets of foods. If you can call me tomorrow,
I will.
I'm going to explain to you the situation and what I need in order to do that. And I'll be able to get you probably for Long Island Cares and for all your, for the tech, for whatever. I should be able, while they still have it, be able to reach out and help you. And that's what the Business Power Hour does. And that's what we do on our Give Back Wednesdays, which is normally at the end of the month. But you opened up a great story,
Yep.
which we can help.
I love it. I love it.
So
You know, and by the way,
tomorrow morning,
what's your phone
I
number?
will talk to you about it.
You'll email me where your cell phone or something?
Do you have my number?
Okay. And just go to your regular number. Okay.
Yeah, but just call my regular number. You know, we've spoken
Just call.
to
Just
it.
listen. He'll be waiting for your call at 6:30.
Yeah, if you want to call me, at 6:30, I'm fine.
I want to tell you something real quick. There's a movie theater in Great Neck, and it's for they did a 200 people concert. I know you guys are so in a concert, and they said to me one day, "Why don't you come in and you can raise food at that concert?" It was a knockoff of the Beatles. They did a Beatles show,
Right.
and so it just before they had these four guys come out. They asked me to make a presentation, tell them a little bit about what I'm doing. So it's funny thing because I was walking out and the four Beatle guys go, "Did you just introduce us?" And I started to laugh. No, I was talking about food.
I even know the group that did it.
What's that?
I know the group that played as the Beatles.
Do you?
Yep.
Oh my God! So they will remember when they asked me, "Did I introduce them?" And I said, "No, I didn't."
But you call me tomorrow, and I'm gonna make us both look good. All
Right.
three of us look good.
Greg, we want to really thank you for being on the show. Believe it or not, the hour is up already. Great job. Fantastic job. And again, one more time, if people want to get a hold of you at Eco-Friendly Printer, how can they do that?
Again, Greg at ecofriendlyprinter.com. My website, ecofriendlyprinter.eco or ecofriendlyprinter.com, because I have both. And Facebook at ecofriendlyprinter and Twitter at ecofriendlyprinter. And my cell phone is 973-224-1132.
And if anybody wants to help Greg out with raising food, for food, for the food banks and whatnot, neilswheelsny.com.
Yeah, that's really, really important to me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So again, Greg, thanks for being on. We really appreciate it. And you have a great night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, our pleasure.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you, Greg. What a good show.
As always.
Yeah, but it's nice when other people tell us that we do a good job. That makes
it's
us
like,
feel good. I have to call Brian Cohn.
You got to call Brian. Why? What's up with Brian?
I-
Brian called me today. Brian, I will. I can't attend the event that you want. I'm going away next week, but we'll talk, Brian. I'll give you a call in the next couple of days. All right. I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow, but I'll try to call you on Friday. I promise you. And Brittany, I'm sure Brian can make you look good. So we know that. So what do you got coming up?
Next Saturday night for leukemia for the Man and Women of the Year award. They're doing a fundraiser with us, and we have John Fogerty tribute show with Creedence Clearwater Revival. And then the week after that, we have the Kiwanis International for the Pediatric Trauma Association Foundation with Journey, tribute to Journey. And that's all we got.
Excellent.
And tomorrow we're cutting some new commercials. Right,
right,
Chris?
so-
You paying attention? Tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
I'm sure Chris is paying attention. He always
Oh, we
pays
also
attention.
just inked it and did the Warriors for a Cause.
Oh, really?
Warriors for a
Didn't you
Cause.
do them last year?
No,
Okay.
this is a new group to us.
Okay.
And, with Chicago. We're
Excellent.
doing Chicago, and I have put on hold by popular demand the fabulous Donna Summer again. For this is going to be a holiday show. This is going to be in December, and she's going to do a regular repertoire and some Christmas tunes.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I promised it to her last year.
All right. So, guys, we're not going to be on the air next week. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to a conference. I'm going to be speaking and also attending the conference and learning some great stuff to help my clients out. But the week after next, we're going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. We're going to be 3 nights in a row. So we're going to jam pack you guys in, and we're going to have a great time. But everybody stay safe. We will see you next time. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So that's Tuesday. It's the next time we're going to be on is Tuesday, May 18th, 7 p.m. right here on the Business Power.
I'll be here too.
Yeah, Norma's gonna.
He'll show up.
He'll be nice enough to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.
Great. Have a nice trip.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Enjoy yourself.
I will.